Welcome to ProjectME, the podcast. I'm your host, Tiffany Carter, the founder of ProjectME, multimillionaire entrepreneur, former TV newscaster, money-making expert, female empowerment speaker, and self-proclaimed office supply addict. My mission is to take the mystery out of making big money. Every week on ProjectME, the podcast, I'll share success tips, strategies, and stories from other entrepreneurs, experts, and millionaires, showing you exactly how you can achieve your most exceptional life. Now let's get to it. Exciting announcement for all of my listeners. I've officially opened my exclusive group, the ProjectME Passive Income Posse, to the public. This group is by application only, so we can keep the group high vibe and spend our time, energy, and expertise only helping those of you who truly want massive success and impact. You get live weekly trainings from me, special guest coaches, and direct access to me and my business partner for all of your questions. To learn more and apply, go to projectmewithtiffany.com, click on Work With Me, and select ProjectME Posse. And of course, any questions, feel free to DM me at ProjectME with Tiffany. Welcome to the podcast and posse, ProjectME with Tiffany Carter. I'm your host, Tiffany, and this is a special episode because my birthday is September 5th. What's up? Hashtag Virgo season. And so depending if you're listening on the 4th when the episode was released or you're listening the day after, I just wanted to acknowledge it's a special birthday episode where you're going to hear a hardcore Tiff rant because that's what I want to do for my birthday. And I know a lot of you guys get very amused by my rants, and you can learn a lot from them too. So we're going to talk about how to get your business groove back and maintain your motivation. I hear often from people, including fellow entrepreneurs who are at a 7-figure level like me, even people who are at multiple 6-figure levels, all different levels of success and stages of their entrepreneur journey, whether they have an online business, they have a physical business, whatever it is. I always hear at some point someone say to me, I've lost my motivation. I'm just not feeling it. I need to get back in the groove. In fact, when I reach out to my close, business friends and life friends, when I'm needing more support, it is most often in this area where it's like, I feel like I've kind of lost my mojo. My motivation isn't quite there. I need to get back in the groove. When I start feeling this way, it starts making me feel really scared because I know it takes consistency in order to have lasting and true success in business. And when you lose that motivation and you're out of your groove, you know you're not showing up as much. And you also know even when you are showing up, it's not with the same energy. And you longtime listeners know that I teach, you can't fake energy. You can't. Believe me, I tried and tried and tried for years. Yeah, there's some people that aren't very aware and maybe you can get away with it sometimes, but most people, they might not be able to put their finger on it, but they're just not resonating with you. So what will happen is you're showing up anyway, even though you don't feel in the groove, your motivation isn't quite there, you don't have that same drive and determination, and you know you need to show up anyway, and you go through the motions. If you're someone who is, either hashtag Virgo, or you are just a very driven person, I notice driven people and diligent people, right? Go, okay, I know I have to show up anyway. The issue is if you show up and you're all out of whack and not in alignment and your mindset is off and your energy is off, what happens is then you end up not getting engagement from people. Maybe you just wrote a post or an email for your email list and your open rate is way down, or maybe you're in the middle of even launching something and your launch doesn't go very well. That's because you're off. And if it all starts and ends with you, and if you're off, the whole thing is off. So here's something that I used to say when I got into being in training and management in the corporate world when I was in pharmaceutical and medical sales, is what I would teach. I mean, these large teams, I'm talking thousands and thousands and thousands of sales reps. And I would have, upper management would actually not love when I say this at first. They would cringe, but then they would see where I was going with it. I had a line that I would always say, I don't rep in the rain. Now, what I meant by rep is, I was a sales rep and an outside sales rep, meaning you have to drive doctor's office to hospital to institution, all those things. So like, if you're a realtor, you're doing open houses, you're taking people around, right? So you guys get the point. I would say I don't rep in the rain. Now, I'm in Southern California. It does rain here. It certainly doesn't rain as much as it needs to, hence all the fires. But what I meant is that energy of rain. When it rains, especially when you live somewhere where it's mostly sunny, a lot of people get there's actually a disorder for it, that's seasonal affective disorder. Like people actually kind of get more depressed. It's gloomy outside. Those of you who, live where I used to live in Chicago or Boston, any of those areas, there's a lot of that. This is why people have done a lot of indoor tanning, will end up going I need to fly somewhere and get somewhere where there's sun, because it can make you feel kind of down and depressed. And especially in the winter, it gets dark early. So what I meant by this saying is, I don't rep in the rain, is I wouldn't go out in the field to my top clients that were crucial to my business, right? It's the 90-10 rule. Your 10% of your clients make up for 90% of your income. That's standard for any business. Some businesses, it's 80-20. I always say it's 90-10. I'm in that kind of rainy sort of zone in my mood and my mentality. Don't go see your top people. Don't go see your schedule your top appointments. Don't record your videos for your course. Don't go into some launch mode. Don't start, pitching and promoting your services from that rainy sort of space, because no good can come of it. It just leaves a bad taste in someone's mouth. Then the next time they maybe see you show up in social media or in person or in their inbox, they're not as inclined to open and receive and listen or meet with you, because their last experience was kind of lackluster. So that's where I came from. Now you guys can go, well, God, Tiffany, so you're telling me to shut everything down when I'm kind of in that rainy season? No, but I'm saying concentrate on other areas of your business. Maybe concentrate on being more of service, right? Go engage with other accounts and, build your following. Maybe write content and create content around the fact that your current state is you're feeling unmotivated, and share with people about that if you're comfortable doing that. Focus on other areas of your business. Maybe this is when you take some time to focus on personal development, really binge on podcasts like the one you're listening to. Maybe it's a good time for you to buy a ticket for an in-person event. Things that are going to take you out of that rainy season and bring you back into the sun and get you back into spring where you're blossoming again. But I want you to know this is normal. You're not always going to feel high vibe, high energized, motivated, inspired. It's not possible. We are human beings. We are going to experience all of the emotions. There is no way around it. So you're going to have those times where it's not clicking. It doesn't feel good. That doesn't mean you wrap up and you quit, but that also doesn't mean you should push and force your way through it. I used to push and force my way through that because I was like, well, I have to show up anyway. I've got to do this anyway. How am I I going to make my numbers anyway? It was all from a fear and a scarcity thing. What ends up happening is you actually lose money and you kind of diminish that rapport that you've built with your clients or potential clients because you're showing up in that energy, right? So just think about like when let's say you're going on like Instagram stories or something like that, and there's someone who you normally follow and they've kind of been showing up lately and you're not really feeling their stuff. They're probably in a rainy season. And now what happens is you kind of start fast forwarding through your stories. Maybe you don't click on that circle to watch their shit because it's not really doing anything for you. And pretty soon, now that circle, because the Instagram algorithm stops popping up in your feed as much, and now you've almost pretty much lost that person. Do you see how that domino effect can occur? So take that rainy season as a time for renewal. That's your body's way and your mind's way of signaling you that you need to be recalibrated, that you need to go in and for a tune-up and take that time. Now, I can also imagine those of you who have a similar personality to mine. I'm an Enneagram 8. So all the 8s out there, you better DM me. Let me know. Are you an Enneagram 8? If you're an 8, there's other numbers that have some of these similar tendencies, but I'm not an expert on Enneagram. I'm also an INFJ, if you guys do Myers-Briggs at all, for anyone who's curious. But if you have that personality where you're like, well, I've got to do it anyway, Tiffany. This person I have people who want to start coaching with me. If I don't enroll so many people a week, I'm not going to make my number. I'm not going to make my goal. Well, that is coming from a fear and a scarcity space. No good is going to come out of that. I understand because my other business that focuses on digital marketing in the pharmaceutical and medical space, that other business, I'm dealing with corporate clients. They have deadlines that are, a year in advance, 6 months in advance. I have very elaborate contracts I have to sign that if I don't deliver, I would be greatly sued and it would not be pretty. So yes, in certain types of businesses, there's not much I can move around and I have to show up anyway. But what helps is acknowledging, okay, I'm in a rainy period right now, whether it's for a week, whether it's for a day, but at this moment in time, I'm in a rainy season. What can I do to best support myself? I'm not trying to force my way out of it. I'm accepting where I'm at. It's part of life. It's part of the human experience. And what can I help best support myself? Not how can I get out of this? How can I get out of this? That's coming from fear, rush, anxiousness. That doesn't work. How can I best support myself while I'm in this? Is it, okay, I need to take a little break from social media, or I need to only just post on my account and not look at anyone else's? How am I spending the rest of my time instead of binging on Netflix? How about I go pick up a new book, and it doesn't even have to be a book on mindset or anything like that. Maybe you need to read something that's, some kind of, novel that's science fiction or something that takes you completely out of your head and puts you in some other fantasy world, right? Maybe it's something like that you need, but ask yourself, how can I best support myself? Then I want you to make a list, and I better not be long, of what are your must-dos. And I would take a look at the next 2 weeks, because usually these rainy seasons don't last longer than that. In our heads, we tell ourselves, oh my God, this is going to go on forever because it feels like shit. Of course, you want to be in that high energized, all cylinders are firing space. That feels really good. It feels good, by the way, because our internal drugstore, our hormones and everything, those are all of our feel good hormones that a lot of people get addicted to illegal substances and prescription medications in order to get that part going all the time, right? But if we're not using altering substances, you are going to have rainy seasons where you're kind of down. It doesn't, maybe you have brain fog and you're not thinking as clearly. It is just a time and your body telling you we need to rejuvenate, we need to recalibrate. And that is normal. Take a look at any, like if you guys have pets, take a look at your pets. If you have a cat, cats aren't always frisky. I had the friskiest damn cat. Her name was Puddins, by the way. What's up, Puddins, a cat? She was insane. I rescued an insane fucking cat. But she is feisty, but she wasn't feisty every day. Some days she was feistier than others, right? You look at my dog, Molly. I mean, her moods change all day long. She's as moody as can be. And then there's some days she sleeps all day, and other days she's just pacing, walking all over the place, being a spaz. So that's normal. It's not like I go and call the vet because of it. But for some reason, we forget that that's normal for us humans too. What's not normal is to always be high vibe, inspired, energized, and motivated. That's not normal. And if you're thinking other people you know in your personal life, in real life, or online seem to always be in that zone, they're just not showing you the other side. I'm not putting them down. They just, for some reason, don't feel comfortable showing the rainy season side. I show you all sides because I want you to know you can be incredibly successful with being human and having all the sides and all the things. So during this time, put that down on that list, like the absolutes in the next 2 weeks, that they're absolutes. You have to do it. Maybe you signed a contract. Maybe you have a new coaching client. Maybe there's a deadline for some kind of project that you have to do, or there's a consequence for not doing something by a certain time, and that consequence is pretty high. Those are the kinds of things that I'm talking about. Maybe it's something with one of your kids that if you didn't do it, it would crush them. It's something that's pivotal, something that has to be done, okay? Maybe it's a medical procedure or a doctor's appointment. Put down those things that you must do and move around and or let go of the rest. I've moved multiple private coaching sessions. I have moved big corporate meetings. I have even turned down paid speaking gigs when I've been in a rainy season, because as much as I wanted to take it, I was wanting to take it out of a fear base. Like, well, if I don't take it, they won't ask me again, right? I might lose this opportunity again. I've turned down podcast interviews when I'm in a rainy season. I've postponed it. I've said I'm not available until this date. There's ways you can say it to where, I'm not available now, but I'd love to do this and you pick another month or something like that. I do that because people who are paying me or not paying me, whatever I agree to, I want to show up as my best self with my best energy. And in that rainy season, that doesn't mean I'm not worthy or I'm not great, but I'm not giving my best, and that's not in good integrity. So I don't want you to feel bad about it. It could be because a friend wants you to help them out with something. Guess what? You're not helping anyone with anything if you're in a rainy season. That is not the time to be pouring in to other people. And depending on your relationship with the person, you can tell them that. If that person is not someone who's going to hear you, then that's a time when it's okay to make up something. You can say like, I don't really want to get into it, but my health isn't great right now, and I'm not going to be able to help you with that. That's fine. You can say that. Some people can't hear you. And that's when I say it's okay to, tell a lie, because it's a lie in good integrity. It's not hurting anyone. It's actually, serving yourself, especially for people like that who can't hear you. But I really hope you don't have too many people in your life that can't hear you. I don't have any of those people that are in my life on a regular basis. Everyone in my life now, I can say, I know you have a launch, or I know you have an event you want me to speak at, and I want to show up for you. But I'm in a rainy season in my life right now, and I wouldn't be able to show up the way you deserve or your people deserve. So I'm not going to be able to do that for you. But if there's another way I can help serve you that's still preserving my energy, I'd be happy to. That's setting boundaries to protect yourself. So I hope that made sense. You guys, let me know too. If you are in a rainy season, the most important thing is that you're not in it alone. I know that this whole going after your dreams entrepreneurship thing can be very lonely. Even being a woman in this world can be very isolating. And it can be for men too. I'm not just saying women, but it can be really isolating. We have a lot of pressure on us to do a lot of things. It's insane. So you're not alone. Reach out, DM me at ProjectME with Tiffany and tell me. Most people are surprised when I voice DM you back or I reply back. I really do spend 2 hours a day in my DMs. This is how I best, serve you guys. And if I'm in a rainy season, yeah, maybe I don't get back to you as quickly, but I do get back to you. And it's my birthday week. So what I would love for you guys to do would be amazing and would mean so much to me if you want to give me a little birthday present that doesn't cost you any money. If you could leave a 5-star written review on iTunes for the show, that would mean the world. And if you take a screenshot right now and share the show and tag me at ProjectME with Tiffany and say what you like about the show, that would also be awesome. If you do both, it'll make me do a happy dance. It would really mean so much. I pour so much into these episodes. I even made sure I recorded these in advance so that you guys had episodes while I was away for my birthday week. And so you could come back and reference these episodes in the future. So I would really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for being such great listeners. I'm so excited for this birthday because it's not just a birthday for another year in this earth. That's enough, that's enough to be excited about. But it really marks a year that I started monetizing ProjectME with Tiffany. It's only been a year. And I brought in gross, meaning total dollars, around $270,000. My net is about like 160, 165. I haven't done all the final math yet. But that's, it's not even just the money. Like, yeah, of course you want to make great money doing what you love. That's exactly what I teach. But it just shows you stick with it, you show up, you be you offer extreme value, generosity with a spirit coming from love, and you're following that divine guidance that we all have, and you tap into that, you can have that great success and just amazing clients and listeners and viewers and people in your life. So I just want to thank all of you guys for being a part of ProjectME with Tiffany Carter, the podcast, the posse, the Instagram, the Facebook, the Pinterest, the Twitter, the LinkedIn, the YouTube, all the things. I value all of you guys so much. I love you and have a beautiful day. Wishing you great health, wealth, and worth as always. Talk to you guys soon. If you enjoyed this podcast, please write a 5-star review on iTunes. Not only will this make me super happy, but it will allow more listeners to find our special show. Simply help me help others.